My dad died when I was 10 years old. I had an older brother die when I was 20. By the time I was 21 years old, I was jaded and just figured, hey, life is not going to last very long. And somewhere from before my dad died to 21 years old, in between there, I thought I was going to be a businessman one day. I thought I was going to be rich and successful. And James Bond. Like, I had all these ideas. Like, when you're a kid, you have all these big, giant ideas. And then life starts, lost dad, lost brother, girlfriend, lose her. Like, I start accumulating all these losses. Start using drugs and alcohol. Start using them every day. Start making bad choices. 25 years old, I was broke. I was in debt. Couldn't keep a relationship. Had no chance of being married or having kids. It was impossible, right? It was just, none of that was even possible. So I started putting my life back together, but it's really, throughout the period from 25 to today, 35 years now, of me studying people that are successful, that has given me the discipline and the encouragement along the way with some milestones. Like 2008, when the economy collapsed, that was a huge awakening for me. Getting married, another monster awakening. Like, it gave me another reason to have a purpose. Being a good role model for my kids, not just talking the talk, but being someone my kids could look up to and say, that's what success looks like. Just having money, just having a couple $1 million, if you're not making a difference, that's one level of success. But for kids, they don't care how much money you have. My kids don't. They don't know that. Well, what does 167 million in cash look like in an account? I remember when a billionaire showed me his cash account. I was like, whoa, $400 million sitting in one account. I'm like, my God. I literally couldn't read the numbers. My kids don't even care. What my kids do care about, what changes children and what changes friends and what changes your neighbor, is what they see you doing every day. And it just so happens it takes money to do things, to fly across the world, to make new friends, to create new charities, you know, to market, to advertise, etc.
Listen, he said something that was really important in that video about what kids watch. They don't hear what you say, they watch what you do. That essence right there, that's role modeling right there. So they're gonna watch what you do, not hear what you say. And we all need role models. And he turned his life around by finding the right role model. He had a role model, but his father passed away. His older brother passed away. And eventually he found the right role model for his life, which was probably James Bond, right, at first. Which is a good role model. I like James Bond. but eventually, a role model is someone that represents what you want to become in life. You know, and there's many role models out there in all different shapes and sizes. You just find a role model, someone who's living the life that you imagine you want to live, and follow the blueprint they already laid out.
Who's the best James Bond?
Daniel Craig, by far. I like Sean Connery, I like all those other guys, but by far, Daniel Craig is the best role model.
All right.
I mean, James Bond role model.
True.
Yeah, I think Gary Vee talks about it a lot, about like who are the people that you're putting into your earbuds, finding role models and creating opportunities to have good influence inputs, whether that be videos that you watch here on YouTube or podcasts you listen to. What you'll find is as you continue to listen and model the things that people are putting out there in content, who are moving in the direction that you want to move in, just having that input will help guide your mindset and guide you into the direction that you ultimately want to go, and will help you move closer to creating the life that you love.
And let me add one caveat to what I said about role modeling, okay?
A caveat to what you said?
To what I said
okay.
earlier about role modeling.
It's not Daniel Craig.
Here's the caveat. the role model doesn't have to be, you don't have to follow their life, their personal life, as far as, it's what they do that you want to do. Because they may have, it's those skill sets that you want to adapt in your life so you can be successful also. But they don't always have to have everything perfect. So don't follow them as far as trying to be like them, but almost like what they do and the lessons they're going to be teaching, because you have your own personality, you have your own style, but there are certain principles that they're following that's working. There's a blueprint there, but you don't have to follow them as far as exactly what they do. I'll give you a quick, good example. Eddie Murphy.
Can you laugh like Eddie Murphy?
Okay. Wait, Richard Pryor was Eddie Murphy's role model. And we know that Richard Pryor had a lot of challenges with substance abuse. And Eddie Murphy, that was his role model, but he did not follow Richard Pryor to the exact same, with all the different marriages, with all the run-ins with the laws and the drugs and all that. But when Eddie was a little kid, he used to talk like Richard, walk like Richard, sound like Richard on stage. And as he became older, he came into his own. And now we all know Eddie Murphy from Beverly Hills Cops and all those different movies, and of course the laugh. Whatever. So that's Eddie. Okay.
I like how you did, like the fish. He came into his own. He's a little fish. Anyway, you learn different things from different people, right? I mean, there is no one perfect role model for you. You're taking different things from different people. And in my office, I have a picture of my dad and a picture of Steve Jobs up. And I want to be a visionary like Steve Jobs and a dad like my dad, and not the other way around, because Steve Jobs doesn't look like he was a great dad and my dad's not a visionary. But you take different things from different people to help build the best you. One of the best books that I read early on in my career was something called Radicals and Visionaries. And it's actually not that great a book. And it's out of print, so it's hard to find. But what it did was it showed a different entrepreneur's story in 3 to 4 pages. And I liked reading one of those every morning. So before going to work, I would sit there and I would read one story. And it's easy to read a story in 3 to 4 pages, and just highlighted their best parts. And it's basically what my YouTube channel is now. Like, I wish I had this to be able to watch every morning before I can go and start my day. That didn't exist, so I read that book. And it did 2 things for me, finding these different role models. One, it made me feel like hope was possible. Because if you look at your role models, you look at people who've done the thing that you want to do, chances are they started with less than what you already have right now. If I look at Oprah Winfrey and how she got started, and the poverty that she came from, and the abuse that she suffered, and she was so poor that her grandmother would sew potato bags into a dress, and she would go to school in a potato bag dress.
Wow, I didn't even know that.
Could you imagine?
Miss Winfrey, wow.
But like, imagine the jokes and the abuse from you're showing up in a potato bag.
And the self-esteem issues, what that to do to you is
You think whatever problem you're going through is so bad, yet Oprah went to school in a potato bag, right? And look at the backstory of any of the people that you look up to, and you'll see that they struggled and they suffered and had less than what you already have right now. So that always gave me hope. It always encouraged me to say, hey, no matter what I'm going through right now, these people have gone through worse, and if they can do it, maybe I can too. And the second thing it gave me in finding these right role models was, it gave me a strategy. Like, what can I do to get out of the situation I'm in? And what I always try to look at is, how did they get their first million? Because that's what I wanted to do, right? How Oprah or Bill Gates or whoever else makes $1 million now, it doesn't matter, right? But how did they go from 0 to 1? What do they do? I want to learn that. And modeling Bill Gates is the thing that saved my business, right? His partnership strategy, I applied that and started getting my first deals in my business. And so being around the people who are living the life that you want to live more, read their books, watch YouTube videos on them, listen to their podcasts, go hear them speak, be around them more. And if they can give you the hope that you need, that, hey, maybe it's possible for you, and also some specific strategies that you can use to help you accomplish your goals, it makes all the world a difference. Change your environment, change your mentors, change your life.
Yes.
Also, to make sure you're actually taking action after watching this video, I've designed a special free worksheet just for this video. The worksheet will highlight all of the lessons learned in this video, as well as pull out our 3 favorite learnings and quotes that will inspire you to actually do something. The worksheet will also give you space to write down what your key takeaways are and your specific plan of action to make sure you're getting results. If you want the worksheet designed specifically for this video, absolutely for free, there's a link in the description below. Go click on it and start building the momentum in your life and your business. I'll see you there.
From 15 to 25, I was using drugs every day. So when I tell you, hey, you can do anything, I was a habitual daily drug user. Overdosed 3 times. Was brought back by people just wandering into a room saying, oh, this guy's in trouble. Okay, I don't know if I was trying to kill myself at the time, or I was just didn't know what I was doing, or stupid, or whatever. Like, I was a walking time bomb, and I was not to be trusted by my family, by my friends. There was no one in my life between 15 and 25 that I could have a positive influence on. I was a liability to everyone in my life, including my family and my friends and people I went to school with and the places I worked at. I lost 7 jobs in a row. I was unemployable. 25, I went to a treatment center and said, I got to turn this around. I got to turn this around. I cannot keep using drugs. They're bad for me. I make poor decisions when I'm using them. I go out with the wrong people, hang with the wrong people, end up in the wrong fights. I literally got, like, when you're using drugs, you're going to pick fights you can't win, not in a lifetime. You're going to get in the wrong cars, make the wrong decisions, the wrong purchases, and you're going to miss a lot of great opportunities. So first thing is, you can't do great things if you're incapable of making great decisions. And when you're under the influence, and I don't want to preach to you, I'm just telling you what advice I'd give myself if I was on the comeback and I was 15 years old and being influenced by everybody smoking the kush. It's cool now. It's probably going to be legal everywhere. Going out drinking on the weekends, forgetting everything that you did, and just making poor decisions. So I would tell you, hey, you got to figure out how is that going to somehow advance your life. You're going to have to make some hard choices. If I'm a young guy coming up, young gal coming up, how can I pick great relationships when everybody's under the influence? And again, I don't mean to sound like a preacher or anything, because I'm definitely not that. We're going to have a great time this weekend. I'm here for a week. We're going to have a lot of fun. But I couldn't do that if I was still under the influence every day.
And the first thing to becoming a millionaire, a multimillionaire, a hectamillionaire, or a billionaire, and I've spent time with enough billionaires now, is they have made decisions to get their money right. Okay, whether they're going public or selling a product, scaling out, they had to make a decision to get the money, the finance model of their household, their business, their product, or their IPO right? If they want to go to the market and become a public company. So number 1, get your money right. It's not about product knowledge first. It's not about sales knowledge first. It's not about sales process first. It's not about the follow-up first or writing the customer up first. It's not even about attitude first. It's about get your financial mental, get your money mental right, okay? Because if you're satisfied, if you're happy where you are financially, why would you sell anything else? Look, let's face it, you're on commission. You get paid to sell things. You get paid to close deals. You get paid to follow up only when it works. Okay, number 1, get your money mindset right.
First, get rid of the little think and the old ideas and the middle class mentality. I'm gonna go to work, I'm gonna save some money, I'm gonna put it in the bank, I'm gonna give it to the man. What's the bank do? The bank doesn't even keep your money. They hate money. Cash it's trash. Cash is garbage. It's pieces of garbage paper. It is only useful when it is used, if you're taking notes. They didn't teach you this in school. This should have been taught basic, 5th grade, 6th grade, not when in high school or college. Cash, this is a piece of paper, okay? It is a piece of paper, it's worthless. This is a piece of paper. This actually has more value. This piece of paper right here has more value than this piece of paper right here. Why? Because one person has this piece of paper. 2,000 people have this data. You understand? This piece of paper right here is useless though until it is used. Anybody ever surf? You ever got covered up by a wave?
Yes, sir.
And it's throwing you down, and you're like, and you're like, I can't wait to come up. And as soon as you come up, you're like, oh my God, and bam, another one hits you. Okay? This is a tsunami. This is a tsunami. There is no place you can go and escape what's going on here. You can go get another job. We have many people that have tried that already. Some of you might be thinking about it. You're gonna go some other place and you're gonna meet yourself again. And the tsunami will be wherever you go. There's no getting away from the tsunami. The only way out of this deal is to say, hey, what do I have to sell today? Okay, so right now, Dave did a deal yesterday, $995. What kind of business was it, Dave?
Solar.
60 months. Did you ask the guy, are you going to be in business in 2025?
Yeah.
And what did he say?
Well, it was a 3-year deal. He didn't like the price. I said, okay, let's do 5 years.
Yeah, good. Okay, so you guys need to start asking people. First of all, are you going to be in business next year? You need to ask every person. You need to include a couple of words in your pitch right now, okay? Hey, are you going bankrupt? You need to ask them, are you going to go bankrupt? Because they're thinking about it. Trust me. They are thinking about, I'm going to bust out here. You need to bring it up before they do. This is straight out of Sell or Be Sold. Initiate the objection. The unspoken objection is what's going to kill your deals. I've somehow figured out, just over time, that I keep adding these little companies. And I didn't know this, it was just kind of a mistake, but all I was looking for is I didn't want to depend on one flow of anything, okay? This was the first company, this was me. I was out selling stuff, picking up money. Okay, next thing I did was I had a partnership with a guy right here called Cardone, the Cardone Group. It's in Orlando, Florida. It's been a partnership for 25 years. Guy paid me a royalty to use my name. It was passive income. I gave him a majority of the company. He sat there for 25 years and went pumped his deal, used my material, okay? And then we created a third company. This was the real estate. I started investing in real estate. I started buying real estate, provided me with a third flow of income. Now, what happened was I got fat right here. And I got, what's the word? Complacent. Like, okay, I'm good. Started playing golf 3 times a week. Everything's good. You know, I'm doing great. I'm Alan. Okay? And then 2010 came, 2008 came. I was like, it just took the little 3 circles. I didn't have the 4th circle, the 5th circle, the 6th circle, the 7th circle. I didn't have all these, I didn't have product lineups. How many of you have Cardone U here? Let me just see a hand. Didn't exist, that product. Let me see a hand if you have Cardone University. Okay, beautiful, man. Look at the penetration. Unbelievable. Like you, if you want customer retention, get saturation. Don't make people happy. Make sure they buy your product. I'm not interested in making people happy. I'm interested in having people on my product. Some people you can't make happy. It's impossible. They're not happy people. All right? So 2010 comes, crushes me. I went back to selling, working on that business right there, and buying more real estate, and then creating more companies, okay? So that I can start bringing good people in. You understand? You gotta keep expanding. You cannot be dependent upon one thing, because that one thing can go away. Everybody agree with that? One ad, one promotion, one person, one product, one of anything.
You kind of alluded to like your belief system, your spirituality. What is that belief real quickly? I mean, like just, can you put it into words?
Yeah, I believe that I'm a spiritual being and you know, and I'm in a body but I'm not a body, I'm not a brain, I'm not a piece of meat, I'm not bones, I'm not 5'8", I'm not 170 pounds. You know, I'm beyond time and energy and measurable units. So I'm not really Grant. That's my name that was given to me. These things that I've done, the cars that I drive, it's just stuff like the Undercover Billionaire was extremely spiritually liberating
adventure for me.
Really? How so?
Because I lost everything. I didn't have my money, didn't have the Rolls, didn't have the G63, didn't have the Gulfstream, didn't have my name, dude, didn't have my social media, you know, didn't have my hair, didn't have my goodies, you know, I didn't have 150 people on my team. It was me. And I'm like, damn, dude, like, I don't need anything.
Yeah.
I'm in a new environment where nobody knows me. And like, it was so empowering because I'm like, I am truly, like, I am capable of taking care of myself without money, without credit cards, with just communication, you know?
I think even in success, some people luck up, right? I mean, the right way.
They don't know. They don't know. I 100% agree with what you're saying. They wonder, can I do it again?
Yeah.
There's that doubt. Could I do it again? And, you know, when Discovery went to help me out a little bit, like, because they're producing a show, like, let's keep it real. I'm like, I don't want your help. And they're like, no, we got a meeting for you with so-and-so. I don't want it.
Because for you, this ain't about a show.
Throw it in the trash. I don't want it. And they're like, well, no, it's going to be good TV. I cannot take your help. And they're like, why? We're trying to help you. I'm like, yeah, but you don't understand. Once I take your help, I can't help me. Once you help me, then I become reliant on your help. Tomorrow I'm going to wake up and say, can you help me? 3 days from now, I'm going to be like, hey, why aren't you helping me? Like I become disabled. When I really started learning from in the beginning, what you learn is you're learning from the master, you know, and so I'm duplicating and emulating. Then at some point you cross over and you become the master. And if you're a guy like me, I'm always looking to improve everything. I'm looking for another little tweak, another little twist. You and I did that with the podcast. I'm looking for that next thing all the time, how to make something just a little better, a little faster. And so at some point, I kept studying this guy until I was able. In the beginning, I didn't challenge anything. I duplicated.
Let me follow the script that I learned. Let me use exactly what he's telling me to do. Do it.
Whatever I heard, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna make that work. That's gonna be my stable datum. And once I could trust that, then I could build on top of it. I never butted anything. Oh, I got a better way in the beginning. Dude, until I got the results over and over, consistent results, then I started teaching it to other people. Then I started learning angles. Money follows attention. When I get enough attention, money will follow it. If I can get enough people to listen to me, somebody will say, hey, I want to sponsor an ad because there's so many people. I just did a deal this weekend. It took like that long because of my audience. I want to give you this much money and I want to give you options in my company. And I'm just going to cross my fingers and hope good stuff happens. But he sees me interacting with all these people and converting people, right? So money follows attention. If I can get really bright over here, money will go to that. If it's a good cause. If it's a bad cause, it's not going to work. Okay. But what happens is the attention wanes. It goes away. If you can spike the money game, the attention will follow again. People pay a lot of money to be in the Super Bowl or big soccer game, right? Because there's a lot of people there. So if you can learn about algorithms, getting eyeballs, keeping eyeballs, surveys, learning how to keep people's attention, man, you're gonna be unbelievable. And it won't matter how old you are, by the way. I actually almost threw away what I had learned and created this new thing called information-assisted selling.
Information-assisted selling.
Where I started leading with what people wanted rather than this guy kind of hid. It was the old school, hide it. Don't avoid the price, bring it up later. And that's where I really started accelerating everything, giving people the information up front, allowing you to understand how much this watch or ring was or car was. Before you even asked about it, I'd tell you it's $58,000.
Right away. So you wouldn't wait till the very end. You'd say, here's everything.
Look, if you're shopping for a car or a watch or a ring or a coaching program, whatever it is, you probably want to know how much it is. I know I would. This particular product's $58,000. It would require about $2,500 down. Your payments would be about $550 a month. Let's be sure you're on the right product. You see, I got the value proposition, the money. I got you thinking about money right now. I want you thinking about money so that when I show the product, you can start making sense of it. Because I can't convince you that it's worth it. You have to convince you.
Yeah.
Okay, I can build value, but the buyer is the buyer. I can't be the buyer.
I can only help the buyer make sense of it.
So I've got about $700,000 just sitting in the bank.
Yeah.
And it's been sitting there for about 2 years now. Anyway, we've got there just kind of as a safety net. We've got about $1.5 million in debt, and then we bring in about $500,000 a month. And so my question is, should I keep that $700,000 there as a safety net, or should I be looking somewhere to invest it, or should I just invest it right back into the company?
Okay, well,
pay off that debt.
Well, I mean, like, okay, number one, the first thing I would tell you to always do is keep investing in your company. I would not hold this money on reserve.
Okay.
Money is to be used. Okay, I got a bunch of money sitting in my pocket right now. It is of no use to me. Zero use to me. Sitting in my pocket. It's like, is it a cushion? I mean, what's going to happen? Like, the only way that money helps me is if I fall on my face and like it cushions my dick. You know, it's stupid, man. But you see, we're all brought up, save the money, save the money, save the money, save the money, reserve, save for a rainy day. Something bad's going to happen. What I would do with this, dude, is some portion of this, but I would expect, because your business is doing well, you're already invested in your money, in your business, right?
Yes.
So at some point, if your business is working, bro, what I want to do is I want to get this money over here. I would not pay this debt off. This wouldn't even bother me, by the way.
Okay.
I don't even think about debt. Somebody said the other day, Cardone said he doesn't like to use debt. You need to pay attention to what I'm teaching you. I want to use good debt. Debt that I can use to make me money is good debt.
Okay.
Debt on a home isn't that good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I don't know what your debt is for, but I know this. Yeah, go ahead.
The debt's just operating costs. You know, we've got buildings, trucks.
Yeah, good. Dude, so it's making you money. That's part of your business. Now, this is what I would do with this money, though, okay? I want this money. How much do you earn a year?
Me personally, or as a business?
You personally.
About 80.
80,000. So I'm going to take that 700. By the way, I would take every penny of it. And I want to put it in I want to put it into an investment. Okay? I want to put it in an investment that cannot be lost. So that excludes the entire Wall Street.
Okay.
Okay? I want to put it in an investment. By the way, there are investments that will not be lost. I can show them to you. Okay? And I want that to earn me $70,000, $50,000 to $70,000 in year one. Passive income. I don't want you working for that money. There's a way to make a cold market warm, right? You need a team. You guys, all of you need a team. You're going to start with Primerica. The entry's cheap. It doesn't cost a lot to get involved, but you need a team. And what happens is you can only knock on so many doors. You can only make so many phone calls. So this is a mistake that I made when I was 25 years old. I wanted to keep all the money for myself. Well, there was no money, right? I was making, everybody needs to understand, Grant has not always been this guy flying in a jet. Okay, I was making $60,000 a year and trying to figure out how to make another 10. Okay, now I'll make 70. Nothing changed. Your life doesn't change. You got 10 grand left over. What do you do with it? Typically, people spend it. That didn't change anything. So I wouldn't hire anybody. I didn't have an assistant. I didn't have anybody doing the stuff I didn't know how to do. Nobody was loading up the CRM. Nobody was calling my customers. I was one little sales guy. I looked around me and there was a bunch of other sales guys and none of them had assistants. So I kept doing what these ignoramus people were doing. And then I looked at businesses. What do businesses do? Oh, they got assistants, they got help, they got support, they got phone lines, they got a business, they got an office, right? So I'm like, I got to get a company. I didn't need to go start my own business. I needed an assistant, okay? I needed somebody else making calls. I needed somebody to collab. You need to think, you need to start thinking, how could you make 10 times more contacts into that cold market? If you don't have any money, you should be doing flips. But you only should do flips and wholesales until you have money.
Define a flip.
Define a flip. I find a place. He wants to sell it. I tell him I got a buyer for it. I've never done this. This is not my space, but I know guys that teach this successfully. And then I put a contract on that and then go out to the marketplace and sell that and pick up the spread between
what we contracted and what it's worth, what somebody else will pay for it, okay? Or flip could be, hey, I find a piece of property, I buy it with a little bit of money as mine. Hey, I'm gonna live here, I put 3 or 4% down or nothing, fix it, flip it. That could be a flip, okay?
Can you flip in on a descending market? Does it only work in up markets or anytime? You could always flip.
It only works in up markets. You can always probably flip, but look, when the flip's over, it's over. Yeah. When it's all over, it's all over. Everybody needs to think bigger, go bigger. Natalie, she's over there. What'd you make, a couple $100,000 last year? What a damn shame, okay? She needs to start thinking about how would I go from $150,000 a year. She's probably so happy with herself right now. This is the most money I've ever made in my life. People around her saying, oh my God, you're doing so good, Natalie. This is great. Okay. Kayla goes back to Wisconsin. Oh my God, you work for that maniac, that barbaric Grant Cardone. That guy must be tough to work for. But she's getting paid good money and they're all, oh my God, you're doing so good, Kayla. Kayla needs to think about how can she 10X? How do you do that? Right? How do you go from being a personal assistant making $100,000 a year, let's say? I don't know what Kayla makes. Okay, it's below my pay grade. I don't need to know that. How does she start thinking about how do I turn this into $1 million? Regardless of whether she's 20 or her position or wherever, how can she multiply time? How can she multiply money? How can she multiply opportunity? Go big or go bigger? Get rid of this go home option. Okay, I don't know who gave you guys this option. That's not an option. I can't go home. I have to go bigger. And by the way, I'm not interested in home. I'm interested in prosperity and paradise. I'd like to never go home. Some of you asking every day I get this question, dude, why do you keep pushing so hard? Why? Because I'm passionate about charity. I want to give back. I want to help. I wanted to help my mom when I was 16 and I couldn't. I'm finally in a position to help out. The reason I have worked so hard for 30 years was so I could have money. This is the way I looked at everything. Hey, Grant, get your money right. Get your money right. Take that extra money. The reason I worked hard, extra hours, you were working a 40-hour week and I was working a 100-hour week. The reason I worked the extra 60 hours was so I had extra money. All extra money went into real estate. Y'all didn't know I was doing this. Nobody knew I was doing this. I was working for car dealers and Ashley Furniture and big retailers and big companies. I would travel on Thanksgiving to Canada to get a check for $30,000 for speaking. Miss my family on Thanksgiving Day. Leave my family on Thanksgiving Day, man. I miss so many Thanksgiving. Every Thanksgiving for 20 years, I went to Canada. You know why? Because they don't celebrate Thanksgiving. And I could get money on that day. And everybody's like, you're missing Thanksgiving. I missed the Super Bowls. I missed the World Series so that I could get extra money and drop it into this thing. And this money would then create passive income for me, passive income that I could then give to charity. Okay? I have either given or raised $200 million for charity. You can't do that without money. It's impossible. I made a commitment when I was 25 years old and broke, okay? I came up with a new plan. First thing I did was this, okay? I made a plan so I could retire rich. Actually, with me, you could just drop the retire thing because once you start making money, you're like, I don't want to retire. I just want to make money, man. It's fun. Okay? No, but most people don't like money because they never have enough, man, to have any fun with it. Right? Or they make a little bit of money and they blow it. And then the next thing you know, they're out of work and they're like, oh, I hate money because the last time I had money, I blew it all. I went to strip joints, I bought a Ferrari, I wrecked it, I got in trouble. You see what I'm saying? Michael Tyson probably doesn't really like money because every time he got it, he screwed it up. But for those of you, you need a get rich plan. You need a get rich plan. You don't need a get by plan. Right now, you got the get by plan. I want the get rich plan. So you need to understand what that takes. And the first thing it takes on the get rich plan is income. You got to increase your income. If you got a job making 36 grand a year, you got to wake up and say you will never, ever, ever, ever have anything if you keep that job at 36 grand a year. By the way, the job is not the problem. It's the 36 that is the problem. Okay? So you got to figure out, dude, how do I get from 36 to 360? Oh my God, that's going to be hard. Not really. If you take a look, first of all, look at your commitment, okay? Man, I'm a waitress. Okay, good. There's other waitresses that are making 360 grand a year. You have to first make the decision. I know this sounds esoteric. Nothing happens without the decision to get rich and understand the plan you have doesn't work. Okay? Because the plan your mom and dad had was never a decision to get rich. It was to get by. Right? That's why they said diversify. That's why they said buy a house. Remember the house? That was one of the plans. A house does not make you rich. It's impossible. It ties you down. There's no income associated with it, okay? So every decision's got to be this. I got to get this number up to that. That's why I don't buy a house, because me buying a house doesn't get me $360,000 a year. You get it? Or $3 million a year, right? What gets me that is income.
What's the number one thing people should do if they want to double their income? So moving on to the financial.
You should
sales.
Get good at something.
Get good at something. Yeah.
You know, get good at something. Now, you got to get good at something. And you got to ask yourself if you're in the right vehicle. If you're an engineer,
you always say that. Yeah, the vehicle, right?
Yeah, the vehicle. Yeah. So let's say you're a photographer.
Yeah.
Okay, because I know a guy right now. He's a photographer, and he's like, I want to make more money. Okay, well, good. So he's going to have to. He can only get so good as a photographer.
Like, there's a ceiling on the income, isn't it?
Exactly. Like, you're going to have to go shoot a movie, dude. Like, everybody's got a ceiling where you finally get to a price and they're like, okay, I'm done. Nobody's going to buy from you.
Yeah.
So now what are you going to do to get your deal? You got to go sell something. You're going to have to sell some product or some service. If you don't like to sell it, then you need to promote it so people buy it from you. So they just come buy it from you, okay? So if you don't like sales, then you need to spend a bunch of money promoting so that people, oh, thank you, champ. Thank you. You need to promote it. Man, this looks good. see, she brought me that. Yeah. She brought me that. So how do you get somebody to bring you something, right? Well, you either get up and spend your own time to go get it, or you get people around you, little people around you that you pay $10. Make it $5. Make it $5. She just earned some money. They know how to earn money with me, right? They earn money. Look, I didn't know what else to do. There was no social media when I was 30 years old. So today, if it's social media, I'm like, okay, what am I going to do? I need to find if I want to make sales. Is income? I want income. I want income. I need money, right? A kid, 18-year-old kid today says, I want to know how to make passive income. He wants to stay home and earn money. I'm like, dude, you're skipping a step. You got to earn money first. Number one, you got to earn money. You got to earn it or connect with it. So I got to either get you to give me money. I don't know how many times you do that. Before you be like, okay, what do I get?
Okay.
Then number two, I need to keep that money. Figure out, okay, how do I get that money to do something now?
Okay.
Now, a lot of people know number one, and a handful of people know how to do number two. They get the money, but then they don't know what to do with the money. You got to get the money to have babies. Successful people are not seeking money. They're seeking freedom. I'm talking about the top of the food chain. You guys should be studying the top of the food chain. You should not be studying your buddies. Study the top of the food chain. They are available for study. Read everything they've done. If I read Warren Buffett, I take Warren from the beginning to the end, and I read everything he's done. I go deep on one guy. I don't study a bunch of people. In the beginning, I'm like, is the dude about money? No, the guy was about freedom. What is freedom? Freedom, man. I get to do what I want, when I want, as long as I want. How I want. I get to say what I want to whoever I want, and I get to cut a customer out of my face if I want to. How many of you like to get rid of some of your customers? Like, get out of my office. Leave my office. I don't want to do business with you. Okay? I want to do business on my terms, not your terms, and not the marketplace's terms. And I don't want a competitor pushing on me. I want to have enough flow coming in that I get to say, I don't want this business anymore. I want this business. Everybody with me? Okay, that's freedom. Financial freedom is not about money. The second thing the wealthy do, the millionaires, the self-made millionaires do, is they play get rich for sure. I don't know if you've ever heard this term. I coined this phrase years ago. I'm not interested in get rich quick. I got some buddies that try to teach those courses. Cringe when I hear them. I don't want to get rich quick. I want to get rich for sure. I've always wanted to get rich for sure. I don't really care how long it takes as long as I'm not old and dead, but I want to know that I'm getting rich for sure. I'm not a shortcut guy. I'm not a gambler. I'm not the guy that's going to put it all on one color. I'm extremely, extremely conservative when it comes to investing because I don't want to lose my money.
Both my parents came up through a time when my mother was in food lines. And she told me that story so many times, dude. I got scared that one day I'd be in a food line. So I don't want to get rich quick because I know that comes with the pain of busting out, okay? And that might, by the way, keep me from being one of the wealthiest people in the world because I don't take these big chances. But if this is you, like you're thinking, yeah, I don't need the 3-week 1000x return. I want to be able to invest my money in something. I get the tax write-offs, I get the benefits, I get the cash flow, and I get the long-term appreciation. And that's what the wealthy do in masses. They're not taking these crazy chances. Many of you are buying assets without cash flow. Flippers, wholesalers, developers. Everything I've ever bought was developed by someone else. I've never flipped and I've never wholesaled. Why? Because I want to own that property, that great location. And what can make sure I own it, keep it, even through down cycles? Cash flow. You got to get the cash flow, okay? I don't care if it's 2%, 3%, or 4%, 5%, 6%. I'd rather have a 3% cash flow on a great location than a 6% cash flow on an average location. The wealthy get wealthy not saving money. They invest their money. You're never going to create wealth, ever. It is impossible to create wealth because you have a profession or because you're great at your job or career. The only way to create true wealth is through investing. It is not through learning. It is not through watching videos. It is not by going to conferences. The number one, best, most successful way, probably the only way to ever create real wealth, beyond millions of dollars, by the way, is quit saving. Quit saving your money. This is what my parents did. They saved money. They didn't invest their money correctly. They didn't take money and leverage it into real investments because they were terrified of losing their money. I understand that. But there are asset classes out there where you can never lose your money. Number one biggest mistake in real estate is thinking too small. I know this is hard to think about, but I got a friend right now. He's actually letting me use his plane today to fly to see the World Series first game, Astros versus Atlanta Braves. Let's go Astros, okay? I hope that doesn't turn you off, but this guy that owns this plane, by the way, is a big real estate guy, massive real estate holdings, okay? It allows him to literally buy something this big. This is a Gulfstream 650, what is this, $65 million, $70 million? Yeah. And my plane just got sold. I'm waiting for another plane to come as we take off here, okay? This is gonna be big, man. This is gonna be a big takeoff, okay? Oh my God, I think they already got that first wheel up, okay? And I was on my way to Houston for the World Series. Look at this takeoff. Beautiful, man, beautiful. And I was booked on American Airlines, $500 to fly to Houston, $500 back. And this guy calls up and said, hey Grant, I don't want you flying on American. Use my plane. I know you're waiting on yours. Just take my bird and we'll figure it out later. So super nice of him. But the point of that story is, one is, who do you know? And number two, how many people do you know in real estate that are successful in real estate? Because people that are successful in real estate, not just for the last decade, but for the last 1,000 years, have been some of the wealthiest people on planet Earth. It's a secure, great investment. So number one biggest mistake, you're looking at one unit, you ought to be looking at 30 units. It is easier to buy 30 units. It's easier to make money on 30 units. It's easier to sell 30 units. It's easier to get a loan on 30 units than it is on one. And I know some of you are going to disagree with me. I got all the haters I need out there. Please don't pile on. But they don't understand that when you buy one unit, you're not getting in the real estate game to buy one unit. If one unit's good, 30's better, 30 times better. If one unit's good and you can raise the rent $200, awesome, man, that's awesome. But what if you could raise the rent $200 on 30 units? Just do the math. If you raise the rent $200, because real estate's about making money, it's about protecting your capital, it's about cash flow, it's about tax write-offs. But if you can buy one unit, ultimately it's about making money. And you raise the rent $200, you're making $200 extra a month.
If you could do that 30 times, you're making $6,000 a month, $72,000 a year, and that's when the game gets really, really super fun.
If you want another amazing Grant Cardone video, check it out right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe. We'll see you there.
Look, I spent 5 years in college. I went to college because I thought the teachers were going to teach me business.